Welcome to day 33 of 40 seconds for 40 days. There's a story that's told of a young man who runs into a gentleman who he quickly realizes was his third grade Rebbe. And he comes over to him and he says, "Hello, do you remember who I am?" And he says, "Yes, of course, I remember. I taught you when you were in third grade. What are you up to now?" The young man turns to the Rebbe and he says, "What do you mean, what am I up to? Isn't it obvious?" He says, "What's that?" He says, "I'm in chinuch." He says, "Really? You're in chinuch? You're a Rebbe too? How did you come to be a Rebbe?" He says, "Really? You just have no idea?" And he says, "It was because of the influence that you had on me." Honored, but also shocked and stunned. What could it have been? This third grade Rebbe, who he only had for 1 year in one of his youngest years of his life, what could he have done to have impacted him to the extent that would have made him want to go into chinuch, that would have made him want to become a Rebbe as one? He turns to him and he says, "Don't you remember there was the story of the boy who, in my class, who he got a beautiful watch, and immediately when this boy walked in with this beautiful watch that he had gotten from his parents, I wanted to take it, and then I did take it, and then you had all of the boys line up to try to figure out who was the boy who took it so that you could return the watch to the boy. And what happened? You went to each boy and you said, 'Empty out your pockets,' and then finally you got to me and you said, 'Empty out your pockets,' and I emptied out my pockets and you found the watch there. But then you kept going. You went to the next boy after me, and then the next boy, until you went through the entire line. Finally you said you found the watch, and then you returned the watch to this boy." And he said, "At that day, in that moment, I realized that I want to be someone like you, who had the opportunity to totally humiliate me and totally embarrass me, to totally break me, but instead rose me up, inspired me, made me feel special, even though I had done something so wrong. You had the opportunity to turn me in, that I was this thief, but instead you saved me that day, and I wanted to be able to be that for other people in their lives as well. So I went into chinuch just like that." The Rebbe turns to him and he says, "Wow. That is so amazing. I had no idea." The boy says, "What do you mean you had no idea? You were the Rebbe in that story that I'm telling." He said, "No, I had no idea that you were the boy that had stolen the watch." He said, "What do you mean? You took it out of my pocket." He said, "No, you don't understand. Your eyes might have been closed when you took out the watch from your pocket and handed it to me, but my eyes were also closed. I did not pay attention to who gave me the watch that day because I didn't want that to impact how I saw that boy moving forward." The young man, absolutely stunned, walks away and feels further inspired and encouraged by the lessons that he learned from this Rebbe, not just back then, but even today. And I think that the message and the lesson for us is quite clear. So often when we make our mistakes, we sort of try to close our eyes and just hope that God doesn't turn us in, that God doesn't punish us for our mistakes. But really, God is also the one that Kiviyachol is closing his eyes. He sees that we make mistakes. It's clear we make mistakes, and he knows that we make those mistakes. But when it comes to how he interacts with us, when it comes to how he treats us further beyond that, it's as if his eyes were closed. He doesn't see us as those sinners. He doesn't see us as those thieves or as those people who make mistakes. He sees us for who we truly are, and that is beautiful, wonderful, amazing people who are always, God willing, striving to be the absolute best version of ourselves. We are now in day 6 of the Aseret Tshuva. We have just a few more days to finish up this tshuva process of this season. Let us make the most of it. Let us realize how God sees us, and let us see ourselves in that same way. Wishing everyone a beautiful day.